How do you coach a hitch kick to a young athlete, a 12, a 13-year-old? Many people think that you shouldn't. I disagree. In this video, I'm going to give you a few tips. Firstly, you need to learn to take off. You must be able to hold an extended position from the board with an upright torso, arms in the right place. So you can work through this at walking pace, jogging pace, jumping into the pit, doing free leg landing takeoffs, for example, on the track consecutively. It's important that you learn how to swing the hip and hold position, so you can do a lot of preemptive preliminary work on the track before you transfer to the pit. So firstly, learn the takeoff position and how to activate the movements for the takeoff position. 2, so you've learned how to take off, and now we want to transfer into a hitch kick. So from a very short approach of 4, 5 or 6 steps, jog in, run in, take off and switch the legs. Try to get it as a cyclical movement rather than a switch. Don't initially worry about the arms. To get the hang of being able to change the leg position, then you start to introduce the arm action, taking the back arm over the top as they switch their leg position. Thirdly, is to get the whole 1.5 aspect of the hitch kick. So they've just learnt the first cycle, now it's about putting the legs out in front of them. And this is where it can become more difficult. The tip that I would say is let them experiment, and you as a coach have got to suggest various ways of getting the completion of the jump, the half part of the hitch kick, the extension part. If you tell the jumper to move their legs quicker in the air, then the chances are that that faster revolution of the legs will push the legs out in front into the landing position. So that is one way of getting the leg shoot when teaching a hitch kick in a kind of incremental staged basis. Simply saying running in the air, once the athlete has got an understanding of what they're trying to do, will also be of benefit. About, as I've said just now, moving the legs quickly after takeoff to get a cycle which will then push the legs forwards. Tidy up the arm action subsequently. You can also use a high jump mattress, and the objective here is to run in, hold position on top of the high jump mattress to learn to hold the takeoff and also to gain some elevation. Secondly, you can then take off, hold position and drop the lead leg down onto the mattress to run across the mattress to finish off the movement. So there they're learning about the delay, the hold, the reach and the movement, and the fact that they have to leap upwards onto the mattress enables them to get a feeling of the height required to do that. I'll often switch back and forwards between the high jump mattress and the sand pit if the jumper's struggling a little bit with the takeoff movement and the range and the movement of the drop leg. So you can see that by exchanging different ways of learning, that hopefully the movement pattern will get cemented into the athlete's brain. At takeoff, look at where the arms are. The front arm should be near to eye level. Back arm ideally wants to be in this sort of position and not there. If it's long, this takes longer for the arm potentially to come over and it can affect the dynamics of the takeoff. I prefer it to be here and then to push like that at takeoff and not be hung out before takeoff. Some jumpers may want to drop their arms and go into a hang, so a hitch-hang technique. If you think that's workable, then persist with it initially. The problem with that movement sometimes is that the hands don't go through the takeoff enough before the hips are pressed forwards, and you get a little bit of a rocking back movement at takeoff rather than a forward directed takeoff. So yes, a hitch hang is workable and very much a good technique, but initially, ideally, in my case at least, I'd prefer to take the arm over the top and through with the other arm for a more traditional style of hitch kick. You can also affect a hitch kick first stage action on the track consecutively. So you run, take off, exchange legs, land, run onto the takeoff again and take off and get the momentum. And doing that consecutively can sow into the brain the specifics of the movement. Positioning on the board is obviously crucial as well for learning the hitch kick. I'm not going to go into great detail in this video, as there are plenty more on the channel about how to set the jump up from the third step to the second step to the takeoff. If you don't set the jump up properly, you won't get an optimized takeoff, and therefore you won't be able to get an optimized technical jump in terms of the hitch kick hang or hitch hang or their variants. Do consider becoming a channel member. At supporter level, it's just $1.99 a month, £1.99 a month. You do just that. You help the channel, support it. Head over to the channel's homepage, click on the memberships button and look at the offers available. Well, I hope these very simple techniques and tips that I've given you in this video will help you as a jumper if you're learning the hitch kick, and indeed if you're a coach teaching the hitch kick. If you have any specific questions on the subject matter of this particular video, or indeed any of my others, then do leave a comment in the section below or through my other social media.